Welcome to Knuckletown.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
Welcome to Knuckletown.
A slow burn like a deceiver. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can.
Hey, welcome to Knuckletown. I'm your host, Big Face. And as you know, man, we're leading up to heading down to Miami. Tomorrow we leave on a jet plane for a fight night. They're live at the Vivo. We've got HD Davis, Sean Wilson, and a host of other great matchups. And you know, this year's been really fast and furious if you're a bare knuckle fan, if you've been watching, and especially with the BKFC as the popularity just surges and surges. And who better to talk to than the king of bare knuckle himself? Please help me give a huge welcome to Knuckletown to the owner and founder of BKFC, David Feldman, Sr.
What's going on, my man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule, man. So how you feeling? You feeling good?
Yeah, man, feeling great. I'm also heading down tomorrow. It's going to be a great weekend, a great fight, and great night of fights, man. And honestly, man, I'm excited to see him because people are asking me in the office today, who do you think is going to win this fight? Who do you think is going to win that fight? And I'm like, man, that's what's so great about this, man. They're all like, I don't know, it could go this way, it could go this way, right? There's not a lot of one-sided matchups in BKFC. You will get some every once in a while, but we don't mean to do it that way, but every once in a while you do.
The matchmakers you guys seem to be doing a fantastic job, Dave. I mean, there are exciting matchups. Every card is so full of them. It's amazing. It is amazing.
I'm hard on Nate Shook, and he's got a really tough job, man. And you know, he stands up to it. Sometimes the fighters don't like him because he's rough on them. But at the end of the day, he's looking out for the company, he's looking out for the sport, he's looking out for the fighters. And at the end of the day, I think he's doing a great job.
I mean, I have to imagine that's probably one of the hardest things you face, having so many talented fighters on the roster, coming up with enough fights, and it seems to be you guys are overtime this year to get all your fighters in the squared circle.
It is, man. I mean, we do these tryouts, we do these prospect series, we find guys that we think could be stars, we want to put them on fights, we do, and then we want to bring them back, and sometimes we just have a hard time fulfilling that, and we're trying to figure out ways to get around that, doing more shows. You know, maybe doing some back-to-back nights, Friday and Saturday nights, just to get all the guys in, because I don't want to do that to the fighters. I don't want to sign them, get their hopes up, and not use them. Like, that's not something I'm trying to do, but sometimes it's something that just, you know, it just happens.
Absolutely. I mean, and so, you know, for a lot of fans, they're familiar, man. Maybe some aren't. Can you tell us a little bit about beginnings of how this version of bare knuckle boxing, man? I know you're an accomplished boxer. What made you start this league? How did that beginning look like? What did it look like?
Man, you know, just to be like really honest with you, actually there's a book coming out on April 23rd. It's called Bare Knuckle. It just got mailed to my house today. It features Bobby Gunn on the cover. It's a lot about Bobby Gunn, but it's a lot about me and his journey underground. And it's really, honestly, I just read a couple of pages and I was like, man, this is going to be unbelievable. I hate reading books because I got like ADD and I can't just keep reading, but I couldn't stop reading. I'm telling you, like, I don't make a dime off it. I'm not telling you to buy it for that. I'm telling you to buy it because it's an unbelievable read. Bare Knuckle it's called, and it comes out April 23rd, and we're going to be promoting it a lot. But that talks a lot about, you know, the underground stuff, and that's really where this came from. Risking everything, you know, like doing these underground fights as I was promoting boxing and promoting mixed martial arts to put food on the table for my family, and risking it all because I saw something different. I heard it. I watched these travelers fighting. Bobby Gunn introduced me to Bare Knuckle, you know, kind of told me about it, and I really like started researching it, and the one thing that got me hooked was that sound. I was like, bang, and I was like, holy shit, man, everybody's gonna want to watch this, so let's do it. So we did some underground fights, and then I told him, I said, I'm gonna do one of these fights. I'm gonna do one of these fights legal, sanctioned. He's like, man, it'll never happen. So we did it. You know, on August 5th of 2011. 5,500 people in attendance, 700,000 people streamed it, one bare knuckle fight. It was unbelievable. And I was like, man, this is going to be unbelievable. I'm going to make millions of fucking dollars. I'm going to bring this everywhere. And then I went to the next state. No, 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 no. 28 states said no to me. 14 of those states said no to me twice. 7 of those states said no to me 4 times. It's just, I got so used to hearing no, it turned from a negative to a positive. Like, how do I overcome this no? And finally, I met Brian Pedersen, who I give the utmost respect and credit to. In late 2017, he gave me the go ahead to do Wyoming. He brought it to the governor's office. It was all good. 2 months before the fight, it got shut down, which nobody knew because we didn't publicize that. And a couple of days later, he got it opened back up. And June 2nd, 2018, we made history, the first legal sanction bare knuckle fight really ever in the history of the world, legally and sanctioned. And it's crazy, man. You know where we are now, 78 events later, 79 tomorrow. And we started off this year with 4 straight sellouts. This one's going to be number 5 straight sellouts. It's just been a phenomenal start to this year. And who knows where we're going, man. But I'll tell you, man, it's been an unbelievable, like, the highs of highs and the lows of lows, man. Like, you know, I was at the lowest point of my life in 2016. And sometimes, like, you know, the fight we did in April 29th in Denver, and I was like at the highest of highs. And then you get to the lowest of lows because you're trying to build something. And people don't see what you go through, right? They don't see the struggles of raising money, and really you're not eating for days, you're not sleeping for days, you're so nervous, you're sick. And I'm not sick. I'm sick because really people don't know me, but I'm a great fucking person. And I don't mean that like to pat myself on the back, but I'm get sick because I care. Like, I care about if I don't get the fight or the right fight, or if I'm not going to be able to pay my guys, right? Like, I care. It makes me sick. And some people don't care about that. And it makes me really, really sick. And I think that's why I work so hard. And I think that's why we're actually reaping the rewards now, because I live on do the right thing, and we try our best. Look, not all the time can you do the right thing, but we try our best to do the right thing.
I mean, it's amazing. I'll say this, man. I've been a fan of combat sports my whole life. A lot heavy on the boxing side. Came to MMA late. Still a big boxing guy, and had lost the love for boxing. And about a year ago, you know, started watching Bare Knuckle. Just fell in love with it, especially when I went to the live show. And this happens with everyone I introduce to the sport. If you see this thing live one time, you will. It would be your favorite sport. You're right. The sound of that sound when that happens.
It's funny because I wanted to do Miami Dolphin Stadium, and I told my team, I said, we're just going to sell the expensive seats and we're going to give it out, like, because I want everybody to watch it, because once they watch it, they're going to come back, right? And you know that too. But it didn't fit in for them. But we're going to start doing some of them big stadium shows just to get everybody to watch this thing. And you know, I really think, I don't think I think this can be the biggest combat sport in the world, because it's so relatable, right? Like, if I ask you, and you're not an MMA guy, so do you know what Uma Pilata is? You probably heard of it. You know what a Darce choke is? You know what a bare knuckle punch to the face is? Yeah. Do you, your sister, your brother, your mother, your daughter, your son, everybody in the world knows what a bare knuckle punch to the face is. They know it. They saw it. They did it. They got hit with one. They hit one. They watched somebody do it. They saw it, and they can relate to it. And they also relate to it as, like, you know, man, like, I think this is like the working man sport. This is it. Like, you get up in the morning and you get punched in the fucking face by life, and you say, am I going to keep going, or am I going to get down? And that's why I think people can relate to this, because these guys are really risking their faces, right? They're getting cut. They're risking everything to try to make a better life for their families. And I think that's why everybody's getting behind this, and everybody feels that it's really relatable to them.
And to speak to that, Dave, when you have fighters lose fights and become more popular in your league, like action fighters, people can relate to that. They can see this guy getting punched in the face with a bare knuckle, getting up and going through that. That's the most exciting thing in this sport. These guys getting up. It's just amazing. It's just amazing.
I think we're the only combat sport and combat sport promotion really in the world that I go, like, before the fights, I give the guys speeches all the time before the fights, and I thank them. And I go, listen, guys, man, I want to pay you more. So go out there and fight your motherfucking asses off, man. Win or lose, I don't care. If you get dropped 5 times and get up 5 times and fight your ass off, you have a job with me forever. If you get dropped once, take a knee, and don't get up, you're done. So fight your ass off, Give the fans what they want, and you'll always be here. And there's guys that are like 2-6 in our organization, but they come out every time and fight their ass off, and they can be 2-10 because why? They're entertaining the fans, and that's what it's all about. And I think that's what boxing really forgot about. It wasn't about the fans anymore. It was about the promoters making money and the TV. It wasn't about the fans, and the fans is what builds this thing. And if you give the fans what they want, as you see what's happening with Bare Knuckle, we got a cult following now.
Absolutely. And I interviewed Royal Reaver, who buys into that 100%. He says the speeches that you give before the fight, he has a special connection. He just drives him, especially the last fight in Miami where he faced adversity, got dropped, got up and just went through. I mean, it was an amazing fight. And he pointed you. I see him point at you after the fight.
It's funny because in that speech, I went like this. I said, guys, I said, you're going to get dropped, you're going to get hurt, and you're going to have to get up. I said, adversity introduces a man to himself, and you're going to go through adversity tonight. And the guys that are going to make it and the winners in this sport and the guys that are going to make it in this sport are the guys that are going to overcome that adversity and fight your asses off. Again, win or lose, doesn't matter. Go out there and face that adversity and punch adversity in the mouth. And they did, and it was unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. And look, he could have quit at any time and nobody would have said anything about it. They would have said, man, I get it. But he chose not to. He chose greatness. And now he's lining himself up for greatness.
Let's talk about that a little bit, Dave. You know, I don't want you, I know you're not a big braggart or guy to gloat, but it must feel good to sit where you're sitting now watching this steamroller gain momentum when maybe a lot of people a few years ago thought this guy's out of his mind, it's never going to work.
I mean, they all do, but you know, I learned to take that as like fuel. I really did. I mean, it was hard at first. Like every comment was like a knife stab me. I'm like, oh man, oh that hurts, that hurts. And now I'm like, bro, they're talking about us. Like I tell my guys all the time, they come to me, they said, look what this jerk off said on Facebook. I go, dude, they're talking about us. They're all talking about us. So it's good. Let them talk about us. Good, bad. They're talking about us. Listen, like Floyd Mayweather, for instance, they don't all watch him fight because they want him to win. Half of them want him to lose or more want him to lose. So let them keep talking. As long as they talk, we're going to grow. When they stop talking, that's when we're not doing anything.
So let's talk about this huge elephant in the room. You breaking California, LA, Knucklemania, huge card. I mean, I feel like that may be the coronation of the sport that night. I mean, it's just, it feels like a lot of electricity. And I saw the celebrities coming out more and more, and they had a bunch of them at the Miami show. So I imagine it's going to be an extravaganza, as they say in LA, April 20th.
Yeah, man. Just the celebrity names that are coming in right now, really, like, I'm like, man, you serious? Like, you want to come to this thing that I built? Like, this is crazy, man. Like, man, the A-list celebrities that are asking for tickets for this event is crazy. And I think you're right. I think it is going to be like the coronation. Like, it's, you know, we've done bigger crowds than we're going to do here. This fits 7,400, but we're going to sell it out. But we've done bigger crowds, but this is going to be the best event we've ever done. I mean, great fights on the card from top to bottom. We got former world champion boxers, got Mike Perry on there. Thiago Alves fought George St. Pierre for the championship. We've got, you know, all kinds of really great up-and-coming boxers and MMA fighters on this card. And it's just going to be a sensational event, right? Not just a sensational fight night anymore, but a sensational event.
It's got one of the most dominating women champs in combat sports in Christine the Misfit Ferreira fighting Hardy. You got the featured fight, which isn't even a main, that's getting crazy buzz with the Englishman Mick Terrell facing off against Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt, one of the most volatile and polarizing stars in combat sports. I mean, it has all the makings for an amazing night. And I know from looking at it as a fan, you guys spent heavy on that card, and the fans are winning because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're selling a lot of tickets. It's moving. It's getting there. It's going to be a great event. I mean, again, it's about the fans, and we have to survive. We have to charge to watch the fights, obviously. So it's not, when I say it's about the fans, it really is to give them what they want. But at the end of the day, we got a business to run. But it's all about the fans, because at the end of the day, the fans drive this thing. I don't drive this thing. They tell us what we want, like one of the topics that you want to talk about, and we give it to them.
So I want to ask you this, and this is just about a specific fighter. I mean, it was a fantastic fight. First of all, I believe that Miami is like the mecca of bare knuckle boxing. I've been to 2 shows down there. It's amazing every time. The whole city lights up. Lots of stars down there. How do you feel about Miami?
I love it. I mean, they told me when I first started this thing that Miami wasn't a fight city, and man, they come out every time for this. They didn't really come out a lot, even for UFC before. Now the UFC is doing record breaking attendances there. We're doing every fight we do is more and more attended. Obviously, this one's just a smaller show that we're doing this Friday, but you know
Sure.
shows at Hard Rock, they're just every show is more and more and more people there. It's just unbelievable. It's a fight city. It's a fight place. We love it. We love the people there. We love the whole thing about the aura about going down there, and it's just building the sport incredibly.
Speaking of Miami, one of their favorite sons, Luis, the Emperor Palomino, of course, lost his championship shot to Austin Trout, who fought a beautiful, just a magnificent fight. Huge Trout fan when he was a boxer. Bigger Trout fan now. He's holding himself like a true champ for the BKFC. Will there be a rematch? Will Palomino get the rematch with Austin Trout?
I mean, I think that happens. The fans are kind of asking for it. It wasn't a very, very competitive fight. Luis was definitely in the fight, but it's not something like that. It was like a close decision, and we say, okay, yeah, we got to run that back right away. But Luis wants it. Luis has been a great champion for us. He always did what we asked him to do, and I think it's something that we're going to do, whether it's right now or a little bit down the road. We'll make that decision in the next couple of weeks. But I think a guy that held the championship like that, and for anybody I asked him to, kind of deserves that kind of at least chance at redemption.
100%. And I will say this: I mean, as a fan and observer of boxing, I mean, it wasn't that close a fight. Austin did exactly what he wanted to do, and he's only getting better. I've talked to him a few times. He's really working on the clinch game, not only defending it, but attacking in it. And he's a good fighter. Set aside the box so he can fight. And so, like he said to me, he said, if you can't fight, they won't let you box.
You said you said the perfect word there. I mean, he's a fighter, and this is fighting, and that's why we didn't call it bare knuckle boxing. It's bare knuckle fighting. You're in there to fight. You're in for a fight, and you got to fight. And I do it every time. Like I say, fight your asses off, and then I go to the guys. What do I want you to do? And they say, fight our asses off, and then I bonus them, and they keep doing it, man. It's just growing and growing and growing, and they're getting better and better and better. They're learning the sport more. And Austin Trout, a two-time boxing world champion, a great technician in the ring, does everything great inside the bare knuckle ring, but also fights. He knows he has to fight, and he fights.
And he's fantastic outside. Very gracious guy. Very humble, intelligent, well-spoken guy. And he beat Miguel Cotto, and I believe he beat Canelo Alvarez. I mean, it was razor thin. So, I mean, a fantastic a champion for you in BKFC. Before I let you go, David, I want to talk about expansion. BKFC, we know you've done the UK, you had the BKFC Thailand. I've heard rumors of Seoul, Korea. I've heard rumors you're possibly expanding into South America. Can you speak on expansion in the next few years for your league?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with South Korea. One of the South Korean gentlemen, and look, man, I don't laugh, but I don't want to mention the guy's name. I'm going to chop his name up, man. So I ain't going to say it. But he's a former UFC fighter. He signed with the South Koreans. He's gonna make his debut in Knucklemania. We also have a Japanese fighter that's a Ryzen fighter that's going to come over, and that's going to start those partnerships there. We had South Africa coming up, but we just pushed that one down the road a little bit. It just wasn't the right time for us there. But we're going to do it this year. Mexico starts May 25th. That starts in Puebla, Mexico, live on TV. Azteca, the second largest TV company down there. Canada, as you know, already started. We go back there in maybe in the summer, definitely in September. England, we're doing really great in England. We're doing another show in Thailand. We're going to go to Japan and Spain this year. We're going to go to Spain. Oh,
That's
and
amazing, man.
Spain next.
Where?
My man Lubo, Bulgaria, next Friday
That's
night.
right.
Almost sold out again, and that's going to be another sensational event. I mean, this thing is growing so fast. It's growing so big. It's hard for us. It is. It's hard for us in the team. We need a bigger team, and as we're getting all these different funding and partners coming in, it's making it a lot easier for us. But it's a struggle, man, and we're doing the best we can. We work our ass off just like the fighters fight their ass off, and we're just pushing this thing every day. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate the fans, the fighters, man. It's all like it's like a little family, man, and the family's growing bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, I do want to give a little shout out to your crew that runs every fight. I've been going to live events now for about a year, back to back to back. And the people that run the back of the house, put the show together. You have an amazing, and it's a skeleton crew of guys. You don't have many guys, but they're great guys. And they have passion and they work hard to make the product what the people want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. They do. I mean, I got dedicated team members. Look, if they can't work here because it's not just me. The other employees won't allow them to work here because everybody gives 110%. And if you're only giving 80%, you're gone. And it's just the way it is. It's the kind of culture that we created. And, you know, we treat people like human beings. And that's the thing. And look, it's at one point it got hard. And some of the guys were treating the fighters like numbers. And I did another pre-fight speech. And I said, listen, come to my attention that some of you guys are being treated like numbers. I said, not under my watch, man. You guys are all people. And you all be treated like human beings. And you're going out there and you're risking your life. And you're going to be treated like you're doing that. And we're going to reward you like you're doing that. And I think that's another thing. Like, we do have a family atmosphere there. Like, a lot of these guys respect the grind that I went through, and I certainly respect the grind that they went through. And I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Well, and then you being a former fighter, it does from the outside looking in feel like a fighter organization. When fighters fight, they finish their fight, they come out, they mingle with the fans, even beat the shit. I mean, and that's just a testament to the heart of the organization. It feels like a fighter's first organization. There's no perfect world for a fighter, you know this, but as good as you can be treated, I feel like they are. And I talk to a lot of them, and that's how they feel as well. So
look, the guys that don't get treated really great are the guys that, you know, they quit, they don't show up to really fight. They're the guys that, you know, it's not what we're looking for. And not that we treat them like shit, but we don't give them the extra love. It's the guys that go out to war and do it like a Ryan Reaper, for instance, right? He go out there, he did his thing. All these guys come out and you know, they fight their hearts out and they risk their life. And I appreciate them doing that for me and for the fans. And, you know, hopefully as this funding comes in, they can get rewarded more and more.
Well, you've done a fantastic job of using the strategy of getting older or more experienced, known fighters to come head the cards for the last several years. And now you've built under those cards, homegrown BKFC stars that stand on their own, that are gaining notoriety. I think Gallo's gained like 40 or 50,000 followers since the Miami fight in February. He's just going through the stratosphere. So it's working. I mean, you can see now you'll have cards where it's just your guys and it's going to sell out. And that's amazing.
100%. I mean, and that's really, that's a testament to these fighters that fight for us. And also, you know, a testament now of the prospect series that's really going to create these next generation of stars. And, you know, look, we wouldn't be able, that's it. Beautiful. We just got fighters from other organizations. We have to build our own, and that's what we're doing. And it's going to be, you know, just a fantastic experience as these guys start to become stars in their own right.
Well, David, man, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to talk to us, man. I hope to get to see you down in Miami. It's going to be a great event, as it always is. The Vivo is a fantastic outdoor venue for us for this as well. And the Prospect Amateur will be opening the show. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Really, thank you very much, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Man, awesome. Thanks for having me. Take care, bro. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Have a good evening. All right. Well, there you have it, man. The king of bare knuckle fighting, Mr. David Feldman, Sr., owner of the BKFC, man, leading the way with the fastest growing combat sport in the world, the fastest growing combat sport league in the world. And as he said, man, it's fighters first organization, giving the fans the fights that they want. So, I mean, we can't wait. We about to peace out so we can lay down and get up and leave on that jet plane, head down to Miami for a BKFC fight night live at the Vivo March 15th, man. Hey, Knuckletown, baby. Big Face is out.
Welcome to Knuckletown.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off or get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can never douse, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
Welcome to Knuckletown.
With me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you you couldn't